On the one hand, who cares that a member of Congress thinks that E. coli and Ebola might be maybe the same thing, and that Ghana, Guyana, Guinea, whatever, they're all G to me. I mean, on the one hand, who cares if some guy who runs a car alarm company has abso-freaking-lutely no idea what he is talking about when it comes to a deadly disease that has now been diagnosed in 2 U.S. cities? Who cares, right? Except, beyond just his car alarm empire, that same person also runs the committee in Congress that has now decided that it ought to be doing oversight hearings on Ebola, E. coli, Coca-Cola, Shinola, whatever. And he has convened those hearings in part so he, personally, genius, can get on television adding important information like this to our nation's understanding of the Ricola, the cannoli, the email, whatever you call it.
Okay.
Yes.
So when the head of the CDC says you can't get it with somebody on the bus next to you, that's just not true.
No, actually, you can't get Ebola on the bus, Darrell Issa, or on the subway. There's New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, a tall guy there, riding the subway today in New York City to show everybody that it's safe to ride the subway. There's New York Governor Andrew Cuomo doing the same thing. These are not guys you usually see on the subway, but they're doing these subway rides today to show that it's safe. They're doing this today to counter any worry that might have been stirred up by news that a doctor who spent the last few days in New York City after returning from Guinea spiked a fever yesterday morning, was diagnosed with Ebola last night. The message is that, yes, New York City has its first patient, but it's okay. 8 million residents of New York City, it's okay. It's okay to take the subway. It is okay to take the bus. So Texas Governor Rick Perry is trying to be as potentially presidential as possible right now. Governor Perry went to Iowa this weekend, which is the kind of thing that makes no sense at all for a governor of Texas, unless that governor of Texas wants to be president. So Governor Perry went to Iowa and decided to proclaim that he was sending the Texas National Guard to the border. Nobody quite knows what the Texas National Guard will do on the border. The flow of kids and young families turning up at the border is reportedly slowing down significantly already. And when those kids and young families do show up, they by and large have just been looking for Border Patrol agents and then surrendering, turning themselves in. So nobody quite knows how armed troops are going to help in that situation. Are they going to get in the middle of the hug or what? But Rick Perry wants to be president, and so armed troops it is. In contrast, consider Governor Deval Patrick of Massachusetts, who honestly probably has a better chance of actually being president someday than Rick Perry ever does. Governor Deval Patrick of Massachusetts has taken rather the opposite approach to Rick Perry when it comes to dealing with the practicalities of this matter. Rick Perry is waving his magical National Guard wand, and nobody really knows why, but tens of thousands of those kids and young families are already here in this country in federal custody. And the federal government does have to figure out how and where to hold those folks while they are being processed before the vast majority of them will get sent home.